welcome to Sharp Res Gaming, and today we are back with another draft overview of our PGL draft for the Season 5 season. And unfortunately, guys, so I had a nice little thing going on for you. I had like everything set up in Showdown. I had a nice little webcam going on, nice little just fun action, but unfortunately, the web page recorder was zoomed in really close for some unknown reason, so that all got scrapped, and now I'm sad and I want to cry, and I had deleted the Showdown stuff, so unfortunately we're gonna have to go basic with this one. But don't let that fool you. We will be bringing the all-out nicest looks for our PGL battles. Speaking of that, if you want to help support the channel and make sure that it continues flowing very nicely, be sure to check out the Patreon if you'd like to help the channel to grow. You can subscribe there. I don't feel like you have to, obviously, but there are some perks if you want to, and I am looking for ideas for perks, so if you guys have any ideas, be sure to leave those in the comment section below. The link for the Patreon will be in the description. And also leave a like if you are ready for Season 5 of the PGL, because we're going all the way, guys. We're going to at least the playoffs. I want to make I think I made playoffs last season. I can't remember for sure or not. I can check, though. Ooh, I think my headset just snapped a little bit, so that's another reason to go to the Patreon. Make sure that I have money to be able to get a headset when this one breaks on me. Just a second here. The utmost professionalism from the Minnesota Wild Charge, of course, as you are used to. I believe we did make one. Yeah, we got to week 1 of playoffs, or we got to week 2. We got to week 2 of playoffs last season. So this time we're gonna go to the top. That's how that's gonna work. So be sure to hit that like button if you're here to support your Minnesota Wild Charge. And I just wanted to go over the other teams. We did have quite the mix-up in teams this year. So last season we were getting really big. I can't remember how many teams we had. I want to say it was 16 or something along those lines. It was a lot of teams, and I know we were broken up into like 4 conferences. So this season we cut it back a lot. There were a lot of teams that weren't completely into it, so they weren't like uploading and all this stuff, and it was getting and Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire is just making the whole meta really stale. So this season we cut back a lot on teams. We do have quite a few returning teams, though. I want to go over them first. So with the Boston Silk Scarfs, the coach True Norseman is going to be in the Solar Conference, as well as Worchester Walreins with their coach Equals Not Funny, sorry, and then the Seattle Smeargles with their coach Sketchy Smeargle. And then from the Lunar Conference, we have the New York Shelmets, coached by Super Gassy, who of course runs this amazing little league we have going on here. And then the Minnesota Wild Charge, which of course is us, another returning team. As far as teams that are new, it says Leicester City Pokemon Club, but it's actually it's a different coach. It is the Green Bay Pikachus, who of course are coached by Jacob as always, but he has a new channel. It's Jacob and I forget his girlfriend's name. They're running it together. So we know them from a different league, but they came over to this league, so we're really happy to have them here. We also have the Chicago Bewears, which I just looked. It's Toxic Gaming, right? Toxic Gaming is the coach of the Chicago Bewears. And then going over to the Lunar Conference, we have the Hamden Hydreigons, which is J-Specs, I believe is how you say his name. He's also in the MPCC. And then we have the Oregon Duckletts, which is... I just looked at this one too. Why can't I remember? It's something GB. Sorry, I'm gonna bring it up here. Johnny GB. Johnny GB is the coach of the Oregon Duckletts. And then we have the Tasmanian Toxicroaks, which is Max Rapture. So I'm going to try to remember to leave a link for all their channels in the description below. If you want to check out their drafts as they upload them, be sure to go check them out as well. A lot of really big contenders this year. So it's not going to be easy, but we're going to make it, boys. We're going to make it. So with that, we're going to hop over to our draft. Now, before I go there, a few things. We did change. I gotta take off the secondary headset because it's rubbing against the first one and messing things up. But we did change a few of the rules for this season's draft. So we got rid of the required tiers like we've had in the past. So before you'd have to choose like one tier A, and then 2 tier Bs, and so on and so forth. And then you had a few free picks at the end. So this year we just had it all free picks. We do have to follow a point system still, but our teams are a little bit more stacked. Not stacked, but they're a little more threatening, I guess you could say, this season, because there's not some lower tier Pokemon. There's not as many lower tier Pokemon. There's still a few. But we also have less coaches, so there's a lot more upper tiers to go around. So I think it worked out pretty well. We got rid of the S rank, which was originally like a bunch of Uber Pokemon. Instead, it's now an A+ rank, where it's some of the lower end Ubers and then the higher end OU Mons. And we can actually take a peek at the tiers here. So these are all the tiers, and this is the A+ rank. So in A+, we had Pheromosa, Kartana, Manaphy, Greninja, Ash Greninja, Kyurem Black, Tapu Lele, Xurkitree, Victini, Mew, Jirachi, Volcanion, Celesteela, Buzzwole, Genesect, Darkrai, Gothitelle, Zygarde, and Aegislash. So there's no like Kyurem White anymore, which was a big destruction force last season. What other Ubers did we used to have that were in here? I mean, Mega Mawile isn't there, but that's because Mega Mawile is not available for use. I can't remember. Again, Mega Latios, Mega Latias aren't there, but they're also not available. Just those kind of things. So we'll get into who we chose from that in a couple seconds here. Also, Z moves. So some leagues restrict how many Pokemon you can use as Z-move mons. This one does not, so any Pokemon can have a Z-move, which I prefer to the restricted ones. I'd prefer no Z-moves at general. No Z-moves at all. But if we had to have Z-moves, this is the way I prefer to do it. No restrictions. So I believe that's all I have to say about the draft format this season. So we're going to hop over to our team, which of course is right here, the Minnesota Wild Charge. So you can see our schedule. We do get to battle all of the coaches this season, which is another reason I like this. It also doesn't go as long. It used to be like 12 or 13 weeks long. It's only 9, and we're able to battle everybody once, which is really cool. And then we can look over here at the team. So the PGL, I consider it to be my main league. So like the DBL is more of a fun league for me. I mean, I still take it seriously, obviously, but especially because it's on Showdown, we can do a lot more crazy things. So it's more of a fun league. And then the NPCC is kind of in the middle, have a little fun, little competitiveness, you know. And then the PGL is really like competitive. Obviously, there's still gonna be fun aspects to it, but it's more competitive than anything for me personally. That is. So I didn't mess around with this draft at all. I really wanted to get mons I knew I could be good with, or mons that I know are good and I've been wanting to try. So I always try and focus around 2 cores. I want to make sure I have a Dragon Steel Fairy core and a Fire Water Grass core. So I started off. I was the last pick, and we did a snake pick. So it'd start at the top, go down, and it'd get to me. So I'd get to pick a pick, and then I'd get to do another one instantly for the next round of picks. So it was kind of nice, but it was also kind of sucked because we were at the bottom, so we had to wait quite a while all the time. So my first pick, I know I wanted Latias. Latias is something that I had my eye on, actually because of Papa C, who had it last year, and he did this whole series about draft leagues. He was talking about the Dragon Steel Fairy Core and how well Latias was working in that. And he used it with Mega Diancie, and I forget his Steel type that he used with it. But Latias is really nice because you've got the Levitate, which doesn't necessarily apply to my Dragon Steel Fairy Core because I don't have a ground weakness within them, but it's still really nice just to have a Levitate user in general. And then it's got the Psychic typing, which also works out pretty well for it. So to go with Latias, we have Mega Scissor, really heavy hitting physical hitter, and then as the fairy, we have Clefable. So if you look amongst the 3 of them, Latias is weak to Dark, Ghost, Dragon, Fairy, Ice. Now, Dragon, Fairy, and Ice, Scissor resist. Unfortunately, it does not resist the Dark and the Ghost. Clefable does resist the Dark, but not the Ghost. Unfortunately, the Ghost is the only one we really have a problem with. But I do have a normal type in Porygon 2, which we'll talk about later. to go with that. And then as far as Mega Scissor goes, it only has one weakness in fire, and Latias covers that. And then Clefable is weak to steel, which is covered by Mega Scissor. It's weak to poison. Again, Mega Scissor is immune to that. And then that's all Fairy's weaknesses, right? Because Clefable's only Fairy weak, or only Fairy type. Yes, that's correct. Latias is also weak to Bug, which both Pokemon resist. So I think there's a pretty good core. Obviously, it's got its flaws. It's got the Ghost type weakness, but in general, it's pretty good. Also, Clefable, I want to touch on, and Mega Scissor, I want to touch on them a little bit more. Mega Scissor, I knew was going to go really fast, and I wanted a really heavy-hitting Mega. I was going to go Mega Garchomp again this season as my Dragon type instead of Latias, but we do have the rule this season that Megas have to Mega Evolve right away, which I think puts Garchomp a little bit, or Mega Garchomp a little bit behind than it would have been if we didn't have to Mega Evolve right away, especially with the speed stat for the Mega taking over the turn it Mega Evolves instead of waiting a turn, as in previous generations, because Mega Garchomp is slower than Garchomp. So, like last season, first off, I want to say Mega Garchomp was like in the top 5, I think, for OU points. It was over Kyurem White after playoffs, which I was pretty impressed with. Personally, I thought I did very good with it. But so previously, I would use Garchomp to outspeed Pokemon. Like the instance I remember specifically is against Mega Gardevoir. So normal Garchomp outspeeds Mega Gardevoir, but Mega Garchomp does not. So I had to make sure to keep Garchomp around as normal Garchomp until that Gardevoir was gone. So I was able to knock out the Gardevoir with normal Garchomp and then Mega Evolve into Mega Garchomp. So that was one of the big reasons I think Garchomp did so well. Mega Garchomp did so well, and because it hit so dang hard. But again, we don't have all of those that strategy available to us now, especially with the changes to Mega Evolution. So I didn't want to use Mega Garchomp again. I really would have liked to, because I really enjoyed using Mega Garchomp. I don't think he gets as much spotlight as he deserves, but with the new rules, he doesn't necessarily deserve that spotlight anymore. So that's why we went Mega Scissor and Latias instead. And then as far as Clefable goes, I think it's just a really good utility mod. You can use it defensively, which is going to be the case for a lot of these Pokemon. It's really they're really bulky, and they're also pretty offensive as well, which I like in a Pokemon. I like one that can take a hit and then deal back damage. I'm not much for the Glass Cannon Pokemon. I mean, they're cool, but that's not my thing. So you want to do what works for you, and this is what works for me. And also, Clefable gets Stealth Rocks, which we were needing on the team. It gets Recovery, both for itself and other Pokemon. Latias also does that, which is really nice. So that's my Dragon Steel Fairy core. And then we wanted our Grass, Fire, Water core, and that is covered by Breloom, Arcanine, and Melodic. So if we look at weaknesses there, Melodic is weak to Electric and Grass. Breloom covers both of those, and then Arcanine covers the Grass. And if we look at Breloom, it's weak to, and Melodic's also weak to Freeze Dry. Arcanine covers that. Breloom is weak to Ice, covered by both of them. Fire, covered by both of them. Poison, which unfortunately nobody covers. Right? Yeah, nobody covers, but Mega Scissor is immune once again, so we can work that into... Mega Scissor kind of works with a couple of these Pokemon, so we're able to get rid of the Poison. I already said Ice and Fire. Poison. Flying, unfortunately, not covered by any of the Pokemon so far that I've mentioned. We do have one that covers it later on, and Breloom's the only one that's going to be weak to that flying type, so I'm not super concerned about it. Fairy, which, again, Mega Scissor covers. And then, are we weak to anything else? It's a Bug, which Arcanine covers. And then we go to Arcanine, weak to Water, Melodic, and Breloom, both cover. Ground, Breloom covers. Rock, Breloom covers because of its fighting typing. And that's, well, Fire is weak to, right? I always forget sometimes that, like, some of the random weaknesses. So if I forget anything, let me know, and then maybe we'll have to work on our draft, do a couple of free agency kind of things. But then outside of that, and Arcanine, touching on these Pokemon individually. Melodic, again, I drafted Melodic again. I drafted every single league again this season, and I want to get away from Melodic and choose other water types, but then at the same time, Melodic has helped me so much in draft formats that I just can't get away from it. I just love it so much. This season we aren't using the same melodics though. We're going to use the same sets. Not the same nicknames. So before we had Gertner and Paige. Our melodics, Gertner is our male and Paige is our girl. Now we have Williams, who is the male, or William. It's going to change in between Williams and Williams. And then the female is Alexandra, or Alexandria. It's going to change once again. So, little note for you fans of melodic on the channel. Going to have different nicknames this season. And then Breloom, we can run Technician, we can run Substitute, we can run... What was I going to say? Freaking Toxic Heal, Poison Heal, whatever that's called. Breloom. And then Arcanine, we can run both physical and bulky, we can run fast, or physical and special, sorry. We can run fast, we can run bulky. Arcanine is just really, really useful. It's a Pokemon I've been wanting to use for a long time, but either I'll draft Heatran or I'll forget to draft a Fire type towards the end, and then Arcanine's gone. So I was really happy to get Arcanine this season. And then we go down to Mudsdale, little baby Mudsdale. Actually, I'm going to put in nicknames as we go. We can come up with nicknames here. So Latias is Scarlet. Scarlet the Latias. And then we have Mega Scizor, Schnaps, the Mega Skizzer. Melodic, we just talked about Alexandria. Breloom is Alice. And of course, we have male and female names for both those. Williams are William for the melodic, and then Cappy is our male Breloom. Schnaps is for both. Scarlet, Latias can only be a girl. Arcanine is usually named Vulcan, after my late dog Vulcan. He's passed on. Clefable, do I have a nick? Oh yeah, Clefable is named Mush Mush, because little Clefable is named Mush, and then Clefairy is named Mush. Little Clefable. Clefairy is named Mush, and then big Clefable, just normal size Clefable is named Mush Mush. And then Mudsdale is our ground type, so I knew I wanted a ground type. Electric resist, or electric immunity and all, you know. I like the resist, but I want the immunity as well. And Mudsdale, again, another one of those really bulky, heavy hitters. He is really slow, so maybe we can work a little Trick Room action in with Porygon too, but don't hope for it too badly. I think Trick Room's a little bit better this season, but we'll see if we're able to fit it in. So Mudsdale is Brosdale. And then we went to, I wanted my electric type. I could have went for a fast one like Xurkitree or something, but I went Zapdos. Bulky, gives us a ground type immunity, which I mean, Latias was already there, but I would want another one. And it also has Defog. It gets Tailwind. I just wanted to, again, another one that I've been wanting to use and haven't had a chance to. So Zapdos is named Thunderbird. Oh, that's just Thunderbird. We want Thunderbird. So Zapdos. And then I knew I wanted an A+ rank Mon. I wanted Greninja, like we used last season, but he was gone already. I almost chose Darkrai. I was really close to choosing Darkrai, but then I went Ash Greninja instead, because it's faster. This is just like our cleanup sweeper after all of our other Mons have been worn down, and we've worn them down with our bulk. Ash Greninja can come in, throw some water shurikens at him, and knock him out. So Ash Greninja is named, do I want to name him? I don't know if I can name him, actually. I don't think he can get a nickname, but I'm gonna put Crimmet, or Ash Crimmet. Ash Crimmet is technically his name. Again, I don't think we can nickname him because he's an event Pokemon. And now that I think about it, I don't think I can at all. But if he does have a nickname, that's what it is, Ash Crimmet. And then we have next. I don't know 100% why I picked this, because it's another dark type. We've been using a Alolan Muck in VGC and I really like him, so that's probably why I ended up picking him at that point. But looking now, if you look right in a row here, we have 3 dark types, so I might switch him to normal Muck, but I do like that Psychic immunity. We're only weak to ground with Alolan Muck, so I'm thinking we'll keep him around. So Alolan Muck is Chanel. Chanel the Muck. And then the next one, I was getting low on points, and I still wanted Porygon 2. So I picked up a Mega that would give us points, and since Mega Sableye doesn't get his Prankster ability when he Mega Evolves, and we're forced to Mega Evolve the first turn that they're out attacking, He's not as high ranked as he used to be, so I got plus 25 points from picking up Mega Sableye. And Mega Sableye isn't going to be terrible either, especially paired up with Porygon 2. So Mega Sableye is here. And that, of course, is Bright Eyes, the Mega Sableye. Turn around, Bright Eyes. And then we have P2. Porygon 2-ish, Ernie the Porygon 2. And I just wanted something. I mean, Porygon 2 is no slouch in special attack, you can see at 105, but I think of Porygon 2 more as a hit taker. And we had Clefable, which kind of does that, but I wanted something that was really there to take hits. So Porygon 2. I could have won Chansey, didn't have enough points for Chansey, so Porygon 2. So that is our draft, guys. Again, sorry it's not as fanciful as some other people did it, but I tried and it just went instantly out the door. It's getting late at night, so I wanted to be able to get this out for you guys today. But trust me, we're going to be fanciful. We're going to be going ham this season. So if you're excited for that, remember to hit that like button. Check out the Patreon if you're interested in that. Otherwise, guys, we will see you next time. Thank you for checking out the video, and I keep wanting to say we'll see you next time because that's how I want to end every video, but I already said we'll see you next time, and I do this almost every video. So let's just say, stay sharp, everyone, and go Wild Charge.